right, the chat is up. Hello, chat. Hello. Good evening, everyone. All right. Cool, cool. Audio seems fine. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to live deck building with BGM or Bigger Gayer Magic. And tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Zangief, the Red Cyclone. This 5-drop 7/4 in Jund colors says that it must be blocked if able, and as long as it's your turn, this thing is indestructible, and whenever this thing deals combat damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess damage this turn, that creature's controller sacrifices a non-creature, non-land permanent. Cool, so we want to be dealing combat connections, we want to be giving our friend here, Zangief, trample, we want to be trampling over, get some combat damage, force our opponents to get rid of some value pieces. Yeah, so we got a little 7/4 Voltron and Jund colors we're going to start off the night. And when I think about Voltron and Jund, there are some pretty cool mono black legendary equipments, like the Wand of Orcus. Have y'all seen this here, Wand of Orcus? Wand of Orcus, it's like 3 mana, it's mono black, it came out in the D&D set in one of the precons, and this thing says whenever the equipped creature attacks or blocks, it and zombies you control gain death touch, and whenever the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. This thing's real cool. This thing's 23 bucks. It used to be $5 like a year or two ago, but it's seeing a lot more play, and I think it's a good time. I really enjoy myself a Wand of Orcus. Command tower might be spicy. Hey, Gabe. Okay, you know what? Just for you, Gabe, we'll put a command tower in here. I welcome a command tower. Good to see you, Gabe. How are your little guys? Are they well? Are they many? Are they weaponized? Alright. So yeah, Wand of Orcus is cool. It can make a bunch of zombies. And it'll give your stuff death touch whenever they attack or block. I think this thing's really good. I'm not sure it's $23 good. That seems kind of crazy to me. But I do enjoy myself a Wand of Orcus. I also enjoy myself a Mask of Gristlebrand. Mask of Gristlebrand is another legendary mono black piece of equipment. And this thing is also a total of 6 mana to cast and also equip it. But this thing gives the equipped creature flying and also lifelink. Flying will help with evasion, making Zangief easier to get combat damage with. And when we get that combat damage, we're going to be forcing sacrifices on our opponents. Hey y'all, how's it going? Thank you for the thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate it. If y'all have any suggestions for our Zangief deck, please put them in the comments, y'all. I enjoy me this here Mask of Gristlebrand, and also because we have a Voltron commander, it's gonna draw attention. People are gonna want to remove it. This thing will give us a death trigger to put some cards in our hand. You know what, hey Parzival, good to see you again. Very cool to see you again, Parzival. Yeah, let's pull up Silent Arbiter. Silent Arbiter, not a card I typically reach for. Let's pull it up. Silent Arbiter is 4 colorless mana and 14 American dollars of making me sad, because this stacks piece says that no more than a singular creature can attack each combat, and no more than 1 creature can block each combat. It says single combat around the whole table. It is a stacks piece. It's cool for Voltron decks. When I say the word Voltron, I mean decks that make like probably their commander big and spicy and game ending. And Silent Arbiter is one way to make sure that it's just our Voltron creature and whatever is blocking it that day. Also, because this thing limits the amount of blocks, it's going to make it easier for Zangief to get in for damage. And when Zangief gets his damage trigger, we force a sack on our opponent's side of the battlefield. Oh god, I am so sorry. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate it. Is that better? Yeah, that's Silent Arbiter. Silent Arbiter. Also, if you give menace... Yeah, if you give minus to something when Silent Arbiter is on the battlefield, it is just now unblockable. That is something we can do. What's a piece of equipment we can stash in here that gives menace? Lizard Blades gives double strike. Here's Lizard's Blades, and I kind of like the reconfigure pieces of equipment from Kamigawa, because when they enter, they themselves are creatures. This one's a little double striking 1/1 for 2 mana, but you can reconfigure it for 2 to give the equipped creature double strike, which is cool. We do have a commander that does have a deal damage trigger, and if we give him double strike, we can get that trigger to happen twice, if he's not blocked. Yeah. I like me some, damn, these Lizard Blades are $7. Did y'all know Lizard Blades went up to 7? Damn, okay. Hey, Gabe, is the music better now? Also, yeah, I like me some Basilisk Collar. Basilisk Collar is cool. Basilisk Collar is like 1 mana, and it gives the equipped creature Death Touch, but also Lifelink. It's also got like an angry-looking lizard on it, or a dog. There's also one with a lizard on a collar. This one's cool. I enjoy it. I run it in my Baitor deck, which I will be playing on the Discord if you want to sign up for a game with me. This thing's cool. I enjoy Basilisk Collar. I feel like it makes every deck that does combat a little bit better. It's 1 mana. It fits really great into a late game mana curve, and it makes your board more powerful if you give something Death Touch as a blocker in the early game. I really enjoy me some Basilisk Collar. I dare say it might even be worth $5. I run it. You run it in your Niv. You run Basilisk Collar in your Niv Mizzet deck. That's interesting. Also, gate equipment. If you, yeah. We need something that gives menace. I'm not sure of any cards that give menace. I know creatures that got menace. I don't know of any creatures that gives menace. I run it. Okay. Let's pull up. You know what? Just a Colossus Hammer. I feel like could be cool. Colossus Hammer is a little piece of equipment. It's a singular mana, and it gives the equipped creature +10/+0, and it says that they lose flying. It also has, like, Equip 8, I believe. Yeah, it's this thing. This thing's real cool. I enjoy it on Voltron Commanders. If we can put this thing on Zangief and also give Zangief some trample, this thing's going to be highly effective. I enjoy me some Colossus Hammer. Oh, shit, we got Zombie over on Twitch. Good to see you, Zombie. You want us to run Wazatora? I enjoy me some Wazatora. I wish Wazatora was a little bit cooler, though. In the old lore, Wazatora was a cat dragon that, teamed up with a guy named Umazawa on Dominaria to kill Nicol Bolas the first time, but she didn't get a card until the Dragon Precon in 2016, and here's that card. It's another Jund 5-drop cat dragon. Never mind, I'm pretty sure this is the only cat dragon, but this flying Trampley 5/4 says whenever this thing deals damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature, and if the player can't, you create a 3/3 flying black and red cat dragon. So, Wazatora, I will admit, Wazatora is not great as a commander. It's just not a great card. But it is a cat dragon, and cat dragons bring me joy. So I do enjoy me some cat dragon. Alright, what else we got? Xenagos. I see a Xenagos, God of Rebels. Xenagos? Thank you, Barry, for the suggestion. I appreciate it. Oh god, I can't spell Xenagos. It's Agos, not Ogos. Xenagos, God of Revels, is crazy. It's a 5-drop. It's one of them devotion gods. It's a 6/5, and it ain't a creature unless your total devotion to Gruul colors is 7. And this thing gives you at the beginning of combat on your turn, you get this trigger, and another creature you control gets +X/+0. Excuse me, +X/+X until end of turn, where X is that creature's power. It's great. It hangs out on the battlefield. It makes one creature super big and significant. Yeah, it's cool. It's a good card, and it's indestructible, so it can survive a board wipe. Demonic Ruckus gives menace and trample. Hey, the Mad Wobbler came through with the menace card. The Demonic Ruckus. Demonic Ruckus. You know what? Ruckus is just a fun word to say. So let's get down with some ruckusing. This is a 2-drop little aura from Thunder Junction, and it's only 40 cents. The equipped creature gets +1/+1, has menace, and also trample. All for 40 cents. And when this thing is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card. You could also plot it. This thing's kind of amazing. This thing's kind of amazing for a little red aura. I enjoy this quite a lot. So let's talk about it, right? So it's going to give trample, and it's going to give menace. Menace isn't a super game-ending keyword, but trample can be. This thing can also give you a little piece of card draw when it leaves the battlefield. This thing's just great. This thing's just great. I would run this in all my Voltron decks at running red. This is perfect. This is wonderful. This is a great card for 40 cents. And it can draw you a card when your shit dies. There is another cat dragon? Matthew McElroy, what's the other cat dragon? Will there be a deck list available after stream? Who dat boy? There's a deck list available right now. If you want to go see what other people are suggesting for our Zangief, the Red Cyclone deck, you can check out my Moxfield page, which is linked in the link tree on TikTok. Yeah, and I'm putting all the viewer suggestions, and it's going in that deck list on Moxfield. Thank you for asking. Turgid. Oh God, let's get real sweaty. Let's get Turgid in here. I personally have only ever seen Turgid in the command zone. I've never seen Turgid like included in the 99. This $11 5-drop mono black 4/5 Menacey God creature from Kaldheim says that if an opponent would sacrifice something, you get to put it on your battlefield. It's crazy. It's miserable to play against, in my personal opinion, and it makes me scoop immediately. Actually, it made me stop playing Arena. I don't play Arena anymore because I kept getting matched up and traumatized by Turgid. Turgid is a rad-ass card. It's a oppressive commander. But yeah, it's a good card. Gimli's Axe gives menace. Let's talk about Gimli's Axe. Gimli's Axe. Gimli's Axe, I assume, of Lord of the Rings, is probably a mono-red enchantment or a mono-red piece of equipment. Gimli's Axe. Gimli's Axe. Gimli's Axe. Here's Gimli's Axe. Yep, it's a mono-red piece of equipment. The equipped creature gets +3/+0, and as long as the equipped creature is legendary, it has menace. It's a common. It gives menace. It gives +3/+0. It's a little bit of evasion. We do care about Zangief's power. We do want to give Zangief trample so that we can more easily get that little oppressive sacrifice trigger off his connection trigger. This thing will help us with that. It gives menace, and it makes him a little bit more powerful, and it does it all for 40 cents. Also, the card looks cool. I like that design. I like the sun flare. I like how the sun flare hitting the axe actually goes through the title panel of the card. I think that's a cool little art design. Chandra's Ignition will give a lot of Zangief triggers. Let's talk about Chandra's Ignition. Chandra's Ignition. Chandra's Ignition's got a cool art, but I don't remember what it do. This thing is a 5-mana mono-red sorcery, and target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. Okay, this thing is gonna be like an awful board wipe in the hands of Zangief. Let's talk about it. So, whenever Zangief deals combat damage to a creature, if that creature was deal XX damage this turn, that creature's controller sacrifices a non-creature, non-land permanent. Cool. So this thing is just gonna wipe their board, right? Because Zangief starts with 7 power. We're gonna have auras. We're gonna have equipment. We're gonna have other nonsense to make him a big, front-loaded, powerful boy. And if we can get this thing off, it's gonna be a one-sided board wipe for all non-land permanents probably on our opponent's battlefield, if they have enough creatures to facilitate. This is very cool. Also, I am hella surprised that this card is $5, man. This thing, I remember this thing, I have a copy or two of this, and I think it came out one of the Planeswalker decks they used to make around the time of Magic Origins in Kaladesh. Damn, that card's $5. Phantom Blade. Okay, Zombie wants us to run the Phantom Blade. Phantom Blade, not a card I'm familiar with. Is it black? I bet it's black. Phantom Blade is a 5-mana piece of equipment, and it's black. It's from Assassin's Creed, and it's a mana investment of 7. Because it costs 5 and you equip it for 2. But when this thing enters the battlefield, you get to attach it to something and destroy up to one other target creature. Hey! And the equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has menace. This is cool. This is just like a sorcery speed little kill spell. And it's a piece of equipment that gives little value and also gives menace. This is a perfectly playable card. It's 40 cents. It's a little bit high costed if you're counting it as removal in your deck. But if you're trying to stack up keywords on Zangief, this thing can remove something and also give it menace and +1/+1. And the equip cost is pretty low at 2. I vibe hard. Good card. Very good card. Also 40 cents. Dodge Boy, good to see you. Let's talk about Zurgo. Zurgo Helm Smasher. Helm Smasher, is that the original Zurgo? Has to be. Has to be. Zurgo, oh, Zurgo Helm Smasher is in Mardu colors, right? Zurgo Helm Smasher, Bell Striker, Vanguard. Yeah, so if he's not in our color identity, he's not going to come up. I'm pretty sure he's in Mardu colors. Let's pull up Zurgo isn't in color. All right, Grappling Hook. Grappling Hook. So I have a Grappling Hook. I tried to play Grappling Hook. Grappling Hook feels cumbersome to me, right? Because it's 8 mana, it's 4 mana to cast it, it's 4 mana to equip it. Sure, you get Double Strike. Actually, let's not discount Double Strike. When I initially discounted grappling hook, I didn't realize how double strike worked with combat damage triggers. It can double your combat damage triggers. If you deal first strike and regular damage, you're gonna get the 2 triggers. So this thing's pretty cool, and whenever this thing attacks, you may have target creature block it this turn if able, which in Zangief makes a lot of sense, because then you can deal some excess damage and force a sack. Maybe we should put some sacrifice payoffs in this deck from our opponents, right? Like, maybe we can find some cards that say, like, whenever an opponent sacrifices something, we get a thing. I feel like something like that could be really powerful in Zangief. Hey, Mateo! How's it doing, dude? Good to see you, bro. I'm sorry, I don't yet have a solid streaming schedule. Glistening Oil. Let's pull up Glistening Oil. Glistening Oil. Yeah, we're building Zangief tonight. It's from the Street Fighter Secret Lair. Fun fact, one of my patrons had me edit myself being choked out like the bear in Zangief's card. It was a cool video. Glistening Oil is 2 mana. It's black for an aura with a very good piece of art on it that goes so hard. And the enchanted creature has Infect, and if you don't know what Infect means, it says that you only need to do 1/4 of the work you would normally have to do to kill someone in a game of Commander. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a -1/-1 counter on enchanted creature, and when this thing is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. This thing is absolutely disgusting. I hate it. I've definitely lost this card a bunch of times. If you have a way to make your commander unblockable, you can slam this thing on it and just win outright. And not quite win outright, but just take people out of the game outright if they can't stop your combat. It's undeniably a good card. It's $8. The art goes so hard on this, too. You go great in Zangief, because we are doing Voltron strategies today. Mishra, Eminent One. Yeah, we have been seeing quite a few pieces of artifacts. Let's see if we can Mishra. We want Mishra Eminent One, but if Mishra's not in our color identity, we're not gonna be able to pull him up. Mishra Eminent One. We can run the uncommon Mishra. I don't think. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, is it you? Nope, you are not the Mishra we needed. Unfortunately, Mishra is not playable. Is he in Grixis colors? Oh, it requires blue. That's cool. Yeah, so that first Mishra, like the OG Mishra, that deck is crazy. A friend of mine has that deck, and it's like an artifact Grixis like combo deck, and that deck goes hard, and it doesn't feel like it should, because it cares about having multiple things with the same name or something. I remember it was weird and surprising and also oppressive, the OG Mishra. But here's a Necrogen Communion. It's a 2-drop from OLB1, and it's also an aura. The enchanting creature you control, it gives it Toxic 2, and when the enchanting creature dies, you return that card to the battlefield under your control. Hell yeah! I love this. This just says that you put an insurance policy on your creature. I love these kind of effects, right? Because if you know, like if you've played your Voltron deck against the same pod a few times, they know that your commander has to get got, but you can slam some insurance policies like this Necrogen Communion on your creature, and as long as it's a destroy effect, your commander is going to hit the battlefield again. I love these. I love these. I especially love the black ones that are like also in the form of an instant, so you can surprise my commander lives. Very cool effect. I also love that it's 40 cents. We are seeing so many budget cards tonight. Very cool. General Marholt Elsdragon. General Marholt Elsdragon. General Marholt Elsdragon is an uncommon elf warrior in Gruul colors for 4 mana from D&D, and this 4/4 says whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn for each creature blocking it. 10 out of 10. This card's amazing. Okay, this thing goes absolutely ham in Zangief, because Zangief has that first line of tech that says it has to be blocked. So if you got this thing, and because it's on curve below Zangief, we can likely put it on the battlefield beforehand if it's in our opening hand. And then when we finally are able to attack with Zangief, probably on like turn 6, he'll be a 10-something. This thing's amazing. Also, if we can force Zangief to be blocked by multiple things, he just gets bigger and bigger. How silly is that? I like that quite a lot. I also love that we're seeing so many budget cards. This boy is only 50 cents. Because he's bad in most decks, but in Zangief, he's amazing. Rancor. I'm sorry, Rancor. Rancor. Rancor's an excellent card. Hatred outlives the hateful. Rancor is a 1-mana mono green aura that keeps coming back. The equipped creature gets, the enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and trample. And when this thing would go into a graveyard, you can put it back in your hand. It's amazing. It's a 1-drop. Once you hit Rancor in your like Voltron Commander deck, you're gonna have Rancor for the rest of the game. And if you have things that like trigger off like enchantments hitting the battlefield, or like enchantment cast triggers, and your shit that you're Rancoring just keeps dying, you're just gonna keep getting value off the cast of it. I love Rancor. My best deck that ran a Rancor in it was a Tuvasa. It was Bant. It was blue. It was white. It was green. And it drew a card every time we cast an enchantment, and every time my shit died, Rancor would come back and get me more triggers. I enjoy Rancor. I'm glad it got a reprint in Fallout. Yeah, and it's only $2. That card can get kind of pricey. Can it? I don't know. I feel like it can. Vorals, the Scar Stripped. Oh gosh, VOROLs. I'm sorry, can I please? Or well, I'll just put the Star Script. The Scar Stripped. The Scar Stripped. The Scar Stripped. Okay, why is spelling so difficult for me all the time? Okay, Voral's the Star Stripped. Excuse me, Voral's the Scar Stripped. If you guys are familiar with Magic the Gathering lore, this guy was representing the Golgari clan within the Dragon's Maze race, where Jace became the Living Guild Pact because the story was written for him to become it. This is a 4-drop legendary Troll Warrior 2/2 in Golgari colors. I want to say it's from Dragon's Maze, and each creature card in your graveyard has Scavenge 1. The fuck is Scavenge? The Scavenge cost is equal to the mana cost. Exile a creature card from your graveyard and pay its mana cost. Put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to that card's power on target creature, Scavenge only, as a sorcery. Okay, cool. So this turns the creatures in our graveyards into pump spells. I don't hate this, actually. I feel like this would actually be really cool in the new Sultai precon with Tevil in it that fills its graveyard. And then you could just exile stuff from the graveyard with this thing and make your creatures fucking bananas. Yeah. It can also sacrifice another creature to regenerate itself. Very cool. Also, he kind of looks like the Brazilian Street Fighter character. Bone Sabers. Bone Sabers. Bone Sabers are crazy. I hope Bone Sabers aren't super expensive. They're from Warhammer 40k, and they're absolutely... Okay, they're only $7. I feel like that's not that bad. Well, it's kind of bad for a single piece of fucking card. Anyway, Bone Sabers is a 3-drop piece of equipment and came out in the Tyranid deck from the Warhammer precons. In this thing, it says whenever the equipped creature attacks, you slam 4 +1/+1 counters on it, period. And it's whenever it attacks. So it's going to be happening over and over again. It's great. I love this thing. I kind of wish I had a single of it. But if I'm being real with you, it's kind of basic. Like, it just puts the counters on it every turn and it hangs out. It's cool, it's pricey, it's good, but it is very simple. Alright, I saw a colossification. I saw a colossification go by on Twitch. I'm sorry if I do not... Colossification has a very cool art. It has a bunch of cool arts, actually. Colossification is an aura. It's like 7 mana. It's green, and it says when this thing enters, the enchanted creature taps, and it gets like +10/+10. Yeah, this thing. When this thing enters the battlefield, you tap the enchanted creature, and it's not +10/+10, it's 20/20. And if you're giving that to Zangief, it's going to be absolutely coconuts. You can give it trample, and then Zangief is probably just a lethal swing on everybody. Very cool card. The one thing I don't super duper love about Colossification is the tapping of it all. Which means that you don't want to cast this thing in your first main phase. You want to cast it in your second, and you want to cast it after you've already tapped. Excuse me, after you've already attacked. And for those reasons, it feels slow. Also, the 7 mana's a lot, but also if you can get it to stick, and if you're able to untap with the creature, you're probably just going to get somebody that turn. Power Fist! Power Fist is another one of them Universes Beyond cards that's kind of simple, but also amazing. This thing's $10, and I think it's better than Bone Sabers. Not just because it's 2 less mana to invest in it, but whenever this the enchanted creature, equipped creature, has trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. So it's proportional. It's not just 4 like with the Bone Sabers. It's as much damage as you deal. And if you got trample on your creature, it's just going to be an insane amount of counters off this $10 little piece from Fallout. Very cool. Also, it has a man punching a Deathclaw, and that's pretty cool. I am planning on using it for the Gitrog. What are you planning on? My first precon. Alright. Oh, you're going to put Varolz in your Gitrog? That's a good idea. Ravenous Ride? Yeah, especially because you want those counters, because like you want your Gitrog to be big. You want to make things... I'm just going to pull up Gitrog Ravenous Ride. I think the Gitrog Ravenous Ride is very cool as a piece of design. It's one of them saddle creatures, which I just don't love, but... The Gitrog gets a pass. He's $5. He's a 6/5. He's a 5-drop legendary frog horror mutant with trample and also haste. And when this thing attacks, it deals when this thing deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice a creature that saddled it. Then, if you do, you draw X cards and you put the up to X land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tap, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. I like Gitrog Ravenous Ride. There is a lot of cards in this color wedge of Jund, being black, red, and green, that care about a creature's power and doing things, typically by sacrificing the creature to get value off its power. Gitrog Ravenous Ride is one of them. It can ramp you super hard. It can draw you a fuck ton of cards. I like myself some Gitrog Ravenous Ride. And this thing, even if you like, let's say Zangief gets, I don't know, maybe Darksteel mutationed, or he gets turned into a bug or a tree. If we have counters on him, we can still tap him to Gitrog Ravenous Ride and sack him to get value. So I like myself a Gitrog. It's cool to have a way to sacrifice your stuff if you know your pod likes to play like Darksteel mutation, or like, you know, the things that turn your thing into like the moon or a tree. Mage Slayer, not a card I'm familiar with. Mage Slayer. Oh, this thing, I've seen this thing on live deck building a few times. I've never seen it in game though. This is a 3-drop in Gruul colors, and this equipment says whenever the equipped creature attacks, it deals damage equal to its power to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. It's also got Equip 3. So this thing's cool. I like that it's like 80 cents. It feels like it's like a big Rambo knife, and that's a vibe. This thing also, you know, it deals damage equal to it to the player or planeswalker. So it's non-combat damage, so if they're shutting down combat damage and we can still attack, we can get this trigger. That feels pretty good. And it cares about the power stat, so we're in line with Zangief and the Power Matters theme. Very cool card. Mage Slayer is cool. Let's talk about a Dauthi Trapper, suggested by Dodge Boy. Dauthi Trapper. Dauthi Trapper. I don't like... What's the Dauthi card I don't like? Dauthi Trapper is 3 mana. It's a 1/1. It's 50 cents. It's a summonable minion, and it's got an activated ability where we tap, and then target creature gains Shadow. Shadow means it can't be blocked except by creatures with Shadow. So it's like Black Horsemanship. This is a way to give Zangief unblockable. So we are in a Voltron strategy. We are in Power Matters. Zangief is a 7/4. This thing will just make him unblockable. That feels perfectly fine to me. Also, the art's pretty cool. Challenger Troll. Challenger Troll. Challenger Troll. Suggested by Adam Murray on TikTok. Challenger Troll. Okay, I like the art, though. It's a 5-mana War of the Spark, 6/5 uncommon troll. Each creature you control with power 4 or greater can't be blocked by more than one creature. Hell yeah, brother. Let's talk about it. So if we can slam Menace on our boy Zangief over here, Challenger Troll will just make Zangief unblockable, helping us get in for lethal Commander Voltron damage. Very cool card to put in here. We just need some more stuff to find, put Menace on it. And luckily, we saw a bunch of little Menacey artifact equipment pieces that we put into the deck list already. Also, I love that, like, we have not seen a lot of cards on this list that are over $1. I think the most expensive one might be Zangief at $8, or that Power Fist we saw at $10. There's also all the treasure token yeah, like Prying Blade. Let's talk about Prying Blade. Prying Blade is a perfectly playable common, probably. It makes treasures, right? Prying Blade, originally of Ixalan. I want to say, yeah, it's a common. It's originally from, I want to say, not caverns. Rivals of Ixalan. And the equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you make yourself a little treasure token. And it's only got equipped 2. It's cool. It's budget. It's 40 cents. It makes treasures. Why not? It also gives him like +1 to power, which isn't super significant, but it is runnable. Diamond Pickaxe is a great card. Diamond Pickaxe is an awesome card. Let's talk about a Diamond Pickaxe. You know what? I don't even... Does this thing give menace? No, it doesn't. But I love this thing anyway. It doesn't need to give menace. It's got indestructible, so it's going to stay on the board. It's got it's a mana investment of 3 for the attack trigger to make a treasure. It also gives +1/+1. It does attack trigger things, which we want to be attacking because we want to get that trigger to force our opponents to sacrifice some value pieces. I love this thing. It's low CMC. It's so good. Highly recommend. Highly recommend a Diamond Pickaxe. I run this thing in my Kellogg Rakdos Treasure theme deck, and it is so good. It is so, so good. Kamal. I saw Kamal. I like Kamal. Kamal is a great card. Kamal, Heart of Krosa, is like 8 mana. It's mono green. It's like a commander-oriented card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. You can also activate it, and until end of turn, a land you control becomes a 4/4 land creature with vigilance and haste, and it's still a land. It also has Partner, so if you want to find another creature with Partner, you can have Kamal and his boyfriend live in the command zone. I like Kamal. I like that. Oh damn, Kamal is $6. Kamal used to be bulk once upon a time, which is great, because that static ability of just +3/+3 and trample, that's just an overrun effect as a static ability, and it's not just... Well, it's only during combat on our turn, but that's an overrun effect. That's pretty good. I like Kamal a lot. I have a few copies kicking around. He's great. Dragon Lair Spider. Yeah, so I am always someone who will tell you about the importance of having a flying blocker. Flying blockers are sometimes the only thing standing between you and dying immediately to the dragon player, which are such a common kind of player. Dragon Lair Spider, though, is a 6-drop. It came out in a precon. I'm not sure which one. It's a reach 5/6, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, you create a little 1/1 green insect creature token. But the token itself ain't got reach. It's just a 1/1. It can make you some blockers. It will make you some blockers. People will be casting spells. And it's a little reacher, so it can block a flyer. It's also not a tiny body. So if we want to sacrifice it to get the value off the 5 power, we could definitely do that. You're going to add your picks. Oh my god, Alexios is absolutely disgusting. I have an Alexios deck. It's so fast. It ends games so fast. So I often play commander games that have up to 8 people in them. And when that happens, I pull out Alexios. And then Alexios eliminates half the pod. And then the people who died go play a separate game. Alexios Deimos of Cosmos is from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Greek one. He is either the protagonist or the antagonist, because you get to pick what gender your protagonist is in that game. It's a tramply 4/4, and at the beginning of each turn, someone gets control of Alexios, they slam a counter on it, Alexios can't be sacrificed, and it has to attack, but it can't attack its owner, so it's attacking somebody else. Until finally, it's just Alexios and the last remaining survivor, and then you attack them, and the game is over. The more, like, in a commander game, Alexios gets so insanely big, so insanely fast. And because it's dealing commander damage, even on turns you aren't controlling it, it's still dealing commander damage. It just makes it's like playing a game, it's like losing a game on speed dial. It is so fast. Also, it's normally, my build is filled with, like, things like the Diamond Pickaxe and, like, boots and shit, and things that make it even faster and more aggressive. Thantis the Warweaver. Thantis the War Weaver was printed alongside the Jund Planeswalker Lord Windgrace in the pre-con. We got a cycle of pre-cons once upon a time. I want to say it was like 2017, where all the commanders were 3-color planeswalkers. And this was the alternate commander for the 3-color Jund planeswalker. Thantis the Warweaver is a 6-drop legendary spider vigilance reaching 5/5. All creatures attack each combat if able, and whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, you put a +1/+1 counter on Thantis the Warweaver. This thing's really cool. It was kind of like a Goad deck before Goad was keyworded and kind of made more complicated. It's very cool. Thantis also makes for fast games because this thing forces attacks. The Sound of Drum. Hey, Pup Maestro, good to see you, dude. The Sound of Drums. Let's pull up the Sound of Drums. The Sound of Drums is from Doctor Who, making it British. It's a 3-drop mono red aura. This thing says the enchanted creature is goaded, and if the enchanted creature would deal combat damage to a permanent or a player, it deals double that damage. And you can pay 3 mana to return the Sound of Drums from your graveyard to your hand. Hell yeah, okay. So even though it's British, I will abide this card. I love an enchantment that can return itself to your hand, especially if it's an aura, because once your aurified creature gets got, your aura is normally gone, unless with stuff like Rancor and also this thing, because you can just pay 3 mana, you can goad something. It's cool. You can even enchant your own creature. I feel like you should enchant your own creature. I like this thing a lot. Massacre Worm. Massacre Worm. Massacre Worm is black. It's 6 mana. It's like black, 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 and 3. It's a Phyrexian worm. Excuse me. When it ETBs, all creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. And whenever one of them dies, they lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. This thing's crazy. If you can get the ETB trigger to go off a few times, it'll be a board wipe as long as it's within the same turn. I like myself a Massacre Worm. I run it in an Aristocrats build, and this thing will force death triggers of your opponent's creatures, and I like it for that. Also, if your opponents are making like a fuck ton of 1/1s, this thing can wipe the board of them. And also deal a ton of damage. And oh, I'm sorry, that gaining life part was not right. It was only the losing life part. Spiteful Banditry. Spiteful Banditry. Spiteful Banditry. Spiteful Banditry is not a card I'm familiar. Spitful? I put Spitful instead of Spiteful. Spiteful Banditry. Sounds moist. Spiteful Banditry. Okay, alright, we got a Lord of the Rings card. It's $7. It's an enchantment with an X on it and 2 red pips. This thing enters the battlefield, deals X damage to each creature, and whenever one or more creatures your opponents control die, you create a treasure token. It only triggers once each turn, though. Well, that second part of the whenever one or more creatures your opponents control die, you create a treasure token. That would be so amazing if it wasn't the once per turn. If it wasn't the once per turn, this card would actually be worth $7 to me. It's cool. It's removal, and it generates you treasures. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. I wish it didn't have that once per turn. If it wasn't that once per turn, this card would be like $30 though, I bet. Very cool card. Thanks for the Spiteful Banditry. Ooh, Gratuitous Violence. Gratuitous Violence. Gratuitous Violence, suggested by Barry. Hey, Barry. You want us to have some gratuitous violence. Gratuitous. Gratuitous Violence is red. It's an enchantment. It's a 5-drop. And we saw a reprint of this card in Bloomborough. If a creature you control would deal damage to a permanent or a player, it deals double that damage instead. It's cool. It's $1. It doubles your damage output for $1. That's pretty cool. We are in a Voltron strategy. We will be trying to kill people with commander damage. And effects like this will say that we only gotta do half the work. Hell yeah. Alluring Scent is our next suggestion, and it is from Foxy Benedict. Good to see you, Foxy. Let's talk about an Alluring Scent. It's a 3-mana mono-green sorceries. All creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. Okay. So we could force everything to block Zangief. Maybe we force... I don't know. It's cool. It works with Zangief because Zangief wants to be blocked. Zangief wants to deal the excess combat damage to force that sacrifice trigger. This thing will help do that if we can make Zangief huge. But I'm worried about how fragile our boy Zangief is over here with his 4-hole toughness. Clockwork Librarian, game balance ruins everything. It does ruin everything. It does. I agree. Force everything to block Zangief Death Touch. Yeah, give it Death Touch. If we can give it First Strike and Death Touch, we're just going to this is a one-sided board wipe. You're right. As long as he's... Yeah, you're right. On my turn, he does have Indestructible. I guess I should read that more carefully. The Master, Gallifrey's End. The Master, Gallifrey's End. Let's get a little bit more British with the Doctor Who card. The Master, Gallifrey's End is a Rakdos 4-drop Time Lord Rogue 4/3. Whenever a non-token artifact creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, choose an opponent with the most life amongst your opponents. That player faces a villainous choice. They lose 4 life, or you create a token that's a copy of that card. So I don't see us running... We saw Silent Arbiter like earlier on in the live, and I haven't seen a lot of other artifact creatures, but there it goes. Okay. Even though it's British, Inquisitor's Flail. Inquisitor's Flail. Inquisitor's Flail is a 2-mana colorless piece of equipment for 70 cents. And if the equipped creature would deal combat damage, it deals double instead. And if another creature would deal damage to the equipped creature, it takes double. But that's not going to matter because Zangief is indestructible during our turn. This card was made for Zangief. Great card, yo. Very good card. Keep the commander on the field so the time it's recast, you can ramp up the cost. Okay. Ring of Colonia 2. Ring of Colonia. Suggested by Foxy. Foxy, you are all over my streams. Thank you so much. Let's talk about a Ring of Colonia. It is a 2-mana, 35-cent piece of equipment in colorless. It's a mana investment of 3 to get it onto your creature. Your equipped creature has trample. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a +1/+1 counter on the equipped creature. But only if it's green. I don't mind this. I feel like this is pretty good. It's only 40 cents. It gives trample for a total mana investment of 3. And it also makes your creature a little bit bigger. This is a perfectly playable card. And if Zangief dies, the equipment's going to stay on the battlefield. So hell yeah, I'll run this all day. It also makes Zangief bigger. It also gives him trample. Those are some meaningful effects. Actually, the entire ring cycle from 2013 is good. You know what? I think we saw the ring cycle one other time. And you're right, they were good, but they were like kind of a little bit wordy. Goblin War Drums. Goblin War Drums. Goblin War Drums. Goblin War Drums is a 3-drop enchantment, and it's old, and the font is hard to read. Each attacking creature you control that opponent chooses... Each attacking creature you control that opponent chooses to block may not be blocked with fewer than 2... Menace. Menace. It gives your stuff Menace, is what it says. Okay. Cool, yeah, it gives our stuff Menace. We also saw, like, that Gitrog monster. We saw a few other creatures that care about having big power. We have some other large power creatures in the deck list. This thing will help them as well. And because it's an aura, if Zangief gets got, this thing will hang out. Driven to Despair. Driven to Despair. Driven to Despair. Oh, I like this thing. This thing's interesting. Okay, so this is an Aftermath card from Hours of Devastation. The 2-drop green sorcery side, which is a side we're typically going to cast from our hand. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw yourself a card. And the Aftermath side, so we can only cast the bottom bit from the graveyard. It says until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. It's a mean-ass card. We are kind of playing a mean-ass deck because Zangief's forces sacrifices. All right, y'all. That is all the time I have for tonight. I didn't have as much time tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for the last time and probably the first time tonight. I don't think I plugged myself. I'm BGM, or Bigger Gayer Magic. Here on Live Deck Building, we talk about the cards that y'all want to talk about. You put them in the comments. We pull them up over here. If you see your card over here, it gets put into a Moxfield deck list, all in relation to our commander, Zangief. The deck list has a date, so you know which one you contributed to. I want to thank you guys so much for participating in my little show. I hope you all draw the